On episode 125 of He Said, She Said movie reviews, we take a look at the movie Uncut Gems, written by Ronald Bronstein and Benny and Josh Safdie, and directed by Benny and Josh Safdie. Welcome to He Said, She Said movie reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie taste take a quick, spoiler-free look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So we went and saw Uncut Gems. I give this movie 2 stars.
And I guess I'm going to give it a 2.5.
We'll tell you all about it right after these 2 trailers.
Alrighty, the first trailer we saw was Jungle Cruise. It's based on Disneyland's theme park ride, where a small riverboat takes a group of travelers through a jungle filled with dangerous animals and reptiles, but with a supernatural element. Release date, July 24th, 2020. Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt.
This movie looks really silly.
Yes, it does.
Couldn't Disney come up with a decent idea for a movie instead of taking one of their rides and turning it into a movie?
I agree.
I'm just saying.
Okay. The second trailer was Promising Young Woman. A young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past seeks out vengeance against men who cross her path. The release date is April 17th, 2020. Carey, Mulligan, Burnham, and Laverne Cox. This movie looks really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one. A little female revenge movie here, so. All right, Uncut Gems. This is about a charismatic New York City jeweler who's always on the lookout for the next big score. He makes a series of high-stakes bets that could lead to the windfall of a lifetime. Howard must perform a precarious high-wire act, balancing business, family, and encroaching adversaries on all sides in his relentless pursuit of the ultimate win. This movie was written and directed by Benny and Josh Safdie, and Ronald Bronstein also wrote this. These guys are all known for Daddy Longlegs, Heaven Knows What, and Good Time. I'm going to butcher the names here on this cast, but it's Adam Sandler, Julia Fox, Kevin Garnett, The Weeknd, Idina Menzel, Jonathan Aranbayev, Jacob Igielski, Noah Fisher, LaKeith Stanfield, Eric Bogosian, Keith Williams Richards, and Tommy Kominik.
Did pretty good.
Thank you.
The runtime, 135 minutes, way over, and it was way long. Rated R for very, very strong language, violence, and some sexual content, and brief drug use.
Okay, I'm going to start this off. I'll start the ball rolling off. I'm going to tell you, if you've not listened to the podcast before, you might not know this, but I'll tell you, I have 3 pet peeves with movies that just automatically turn me off from a movie. And the first one is if the movie starts with the end of the movie. Why do you need to see the movie if you've already seen how the movie ends? The second one is I can't stand to leave the movie theater feeling worse about myself and humanity. And the third is I can't stand movies where the protagonist keeps digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper, and with the exception of horror movies. This movie, for me, met the 2 of those. I felt horrible when I left the movie, and I can't stand movies where the character just kept on digging himself into a hole.
Okay. The theme and tone was greedy and stupidity, gambling addiction. Tim, I agree. I know those are your pet peeves. This movie was absolutely hideous. I can tell you that the character was the most annoying character in a movie I've ever seen. Okay, yes, did he succeed in acting as in the role that they put him in? Yes, but the movie itself had nothing. There was no connection to a character. There was nothing redeeming about this movie.
Rule number 1 of writing a screenplay, you have to make the protagonist somebody that the audience can identify with in some way or form. Unless you are a New Yorker, you're not going to relate to this character at all. He's not likable. Honestly, within the first 15 minutes, I was like, please, someone put a bullet in this guy's head so we can be done with this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say one other thing. This is one of the first movies that I ever actually stood up halfway through it. I was ready to leave, but April made me stay. So,
yeah, it just, and don't get me wrong, the acting and characters, there's strong performances by all. That's not it. The direction was pitiful. It was very chaotic. The score was obnoxious.
Yeah, too much synthesizer music. It was like the music was almost like a 70s porn flick music. So, I mean...
So true. Okay, sorry about that.
The cinematography, I hated it. It was not a good looking movie.
Lighting.
I mean, bad. It was all neon lights and everything. Production design. It's New York City. There's not much you can do with production design. No special effects, right?
Right. The editing, Tim, I know we talked about this. That was not done well.
Yeah, it was all over the place. The movie just jumped around and everything. And what'd you think of the bass?
Well, I like what you and I talked about right after the movie is that you were right. It moved too fast for any kind of character development. And that was the problem with the movie.
Yeah, that there was zero character development in this movie. I mean, you once again, going back to the main character, the antagonist or the protagonist, you didn't care about him. They didn't develop anything that was likable about this guy or any of the other characters. They were all very much cardboard characters.
Yeah.
Even Kevin Garnett's character, playing himself, he was cardboard.
Yeah. It was just the dialogue, not good at all. I like, again, you had said something about if you like the F word, you'll like this dialogue.
Well, the other thing I couldn't stand about this movie is most of the characters, the dialogue was all screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
And they're all screaming and yelling and talking over the top of each other.
It was awful.
Oh, man, I just really, I mean, I'd rather go see Cats than this movie.
Yeah, yes. I don't drink or smoke. I mean, I joke about how I love to eat my calories, but the point is about this is... we went into this, and of course, all I could think about is I could have taken a hike, I could have gone kayaking. There's a lot of things I could have done on this beautiful morning. But instead, we saw this movie, and it just was hideous. I mean, I'm a very happy, easy, fairly easygoing. I mean, I get obsessed and stressed like normal people do. But this movie, I was jumpy. When it was over, I was just jumpy. It was asinine.
I know there's a lot of people who like this movie, and there's going to be a lot of people who think this was a great movie. But if you're a general moviegoer person who goes to the movie to escape reality and to have, 2 hours of enjoyment, this is not that movie. I mean, it's just, like I said, you can't identify with the main character at all. He's hateable. And matter of fact, for me, I was more towards the end of the movie really liking the protagonist, that Arno. I was more identifying with him than I was with the protagonist. So
yeah, it was just, and also I don't want to get into the girlfriend and the apartment and the city and all that. It just, the whole thing was just obnoxious. So, all right, let's finish up. This is one we could go on for a long time. We go into a movie giving it more than plenty of opportunities. We love all kinds of movies. I was actually excited. The early reviews on this were fairly decent.
Yeah, let me say one other thing too. A movie doesn't have to have a happy ending for it to be a good movie.
No, it doesn't.
I've seen plenty of movies where I leave the theater with tears in my eyes and crying, and I think, wow, that was a really good movie. This isn't one of them.
No, it's not. Not sure what anyone was thinking. Can't believe anyone invested in this movie. I could go on all day and all night, and I'm a very positive person. So this is real. It's raw, this review. No. No. All right.
The only redeeming thing was it had some really good acting. But
yeah, it did. And I don't want to say that part didn't. It just, anyway.
And that's why I gave it 2 stars instead of 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, so April gives this movie 2.5 stars. I give Uncut Gems 2 stars. Watch it on streaming so you can turn it off when you're bored with the movie.
There we go. We will see everybody at the movies.
See you at the movies.